The Titans get up 28-12 against the Tigers there. I did tip the Tigs in this one. They obviously lost two of their better players, or they're two of their best players, very early in this game, especially Appy. And we just found out that Tino got off on the charge, and I don't know what I think about that. He's done that 2 weeks in a row now. It just shows how difficult it is to play this game if you're a small guy, because obviously guys similar height to Tino, he just bumps him off in the chest. The good thing is he's not raising the elbow, and if you are, then you're going to get sighted for a long time. But it's just bumping off with the forearms. But he's just such a bigger body. He's a mammoth of a man, isn't he, Tino? And he obviously gets off on that one. And I don't know really much what else to say about that. It's the driving out in front, but yeah, I suppose when Appy's coming at you and you're going to drive straight into his face, I don't know. It just creates a lot of issues, I think. Obviously, Reed gets knocked out from it, and then Appy with this, and it's just nothing. So that's obviously just a normal play in the NRL. Apparently, we move on. So his score of 69 was terrific with that try again. He obviously ran a terrific line and shows how important Sam Verrills is to this side, because he ran things beautifully. A terrific pass from him for that try to Tino as well. All right, Tanner Boyd. Let's talk about Tanner and Tommy Talau together. Two of the best players in this game. My gosh, Tommy T. So Tanner got 2 turnover tackles on the great man, Tommy Talau. He had 4 errors, which was disgusting. So, yeah, Tanner just did a little bit of everything, guys. 517 kick meters, a couple of forced dropouts, back to some of his best play. Even if you take away those turnover tackles, he's sitting in a mid-50 score, and it's exactly what you're looking for. I keep saying that he's a very much a keeper for the rest of the year, and people were selling him around 13, and I was gladly seeing that. Obviously, he has a bye next week as well, so I understand 13 and 16, but he's not going to play Origin. There's so many injuries and suspensions. He seems to be completely fine for the majority of weeks. He went off for a HIA once, and every other game he has played. And yeah, the big kick meters, running the ball a little bit, tackling well. Got a try assist as well, which was terrific to Cleese Haas there. So yeah, just great overall with goal kicking also. So I don't know why people are looking at trading him out. I know now that this 65, he has the bye next week, and then in round 17 where they have no buys left, everyone's going to look to buy him. And yeah, been saying that he's definitely a hold the whole way. So dual position as well, has it all, price under 50, should be able to average at least 50 from here. So a terrific, in the back end, 15, 16, 17th man for sure. Tanner Boyd, the annoying man, keeps delivering. So, yeah, there you go. I think it's 30% of people in the top 1,000 still own him. Phil Starmy there, 65 for him. And, yeah, back to 11 tackle breaks, 280 meters and a try. Incredible. Talk about incredible. Jahream, the Dream Buller. Wow. That fend on Tino was incredible. To then go through and just turn the afterburners on and just burn. I think it was AJ at the back there, so who's a fast man himself. So well done to Jahream. He has been incredible. Again, for someone that, we looked at his stats in New South Wales Cup and was like, it's their average at best, fantasy-wise. He's now averaging 50, and he's the keeper that we all needed, and the keeper that we thought Lockie Miller was, a lot of people have been saying, and I completely agree. These scores have not been updated again, guys, which is very frustrating. So Buller, he goes down to a 61, which is still incredible. Doesn't matter. Try saver in there just before he scored that try, actually. So he kind of went from 25 to 35 quickly, and then straight up to that 61 with the try, and 226 meters, 6 tackle breaks there. Was amazing. Four kick defusals as well. So 2 line breaks, got one earlier in the game as well. Amazing work from Jahream, and 100% a keeper, guys, at this point, if he continues that up. And they played terribly in this game, Tigers, and he still got the 61. So amazing work from Jahream, and is a focal point of this attack. And I suppose the only worry now is with Luke Brooks going down with Tammy, Appy getting injured as well. He's going to be out for anywhere between 6 and 10 weeks. Buller still was able to do that in the back end without those two. So I think that's good signs, but definitely something to worry about the Tigers going forward, how they're going to play. Jaden Campbell with a big score of 60 in this one was great. So he made 26 tackles for 3 misses. Got his try as well. So did a lot in this game with 140 kick meters, 72 run, tackle breaks, offload, turnover tackle. Very limited on the negative side. So big win for Jaden Campbell. All right. Those that were looking at David Clemmer, the 58 in this one was immense, obviously, with that try, and haven't seen him score one in a while. 19 tackles in this one was super low in the 48 minutes. You just can't seem to get anything above 50. So with the try to get 58 is a little bit annoying for anyone who did pick him up, but you definitely take that over the potential 40 or 43 that he would have normally got with those minutes that he keeps getting. So yeah, a big win for anyone who picked him up, but yeah, not someone we're still interested in. But I had a laugh because I've been pushing people away from him, and then he scored a try pretty early and was on 30 odd in 20 odd minutes. So that's that. Cleese Haas, he was really, really good. He's a good football player. I'm excited to watch him play going forward. If there happens to be an injury to Stimson or to David Fafita, there is longer term. Obviously, with their bye next week, they'll be done after that. He's going to be a great guy to throw in there. He had great base stats, obviously with the 33 tackles, 3 misses. Didn't run the ball a lot, so they didn't give him plenty of pill there. But when they did, he managed to score the try, which was great there as well. So keep him in the black book as a potential cashy if he gets a spot in that starting side longer term. David Nofaluma, 55 as well. So he had a good game on his part with running the footy, 133 metres, 4 offloads, 8 tackle breaks. It's pretty impressive in 130 metres. We go to Bateman now, and this was just ridiculous. At one point, he had been given 5 missed tackles, and we'd only seen him make 1. So thankfully that reverted back. He ended up with 8 missed tackles. And I was like, he missed like 3 or 4, which ended up fixing that, and he's gone up to a 65 score and 4 missed tackles, which is great, and about 30 extra run meters, which is awesome. So 110 there. 56 tackles is great. 2 tackle breaks, 2 offloads to ground, and 4 missed tackles. So much better. I do like him in the middle for that reason there, that this is the tackle numbers, which is good. Obviously, 4 missed tackles is about his high. He had a 5 missed tackle game earlier in the year, but 65 points for him. Price at a tad over 50 is massive, and a low break even in the 20s. So awesome for all of the people that brought in Bateman. There's a lot of them, so you're definitely not alone if you did bring him in. Brimson, he was great. He got the early shower as well, given that he's come back from injury. 2 try assists and a try to go along with only 72 run meters. So very much a Latrell Mitchell style of game, getting involved in everything. Awesome try. He's just very, very smart player, and you see why he was so dominant when he did get his opportunity at fullback for Queensland with 2 forced dropouts as well. So yeah, Titans are really good in this game. It's very hard to tip them. I've tipped them a few times, and they've just lost the unlosable games, or they're ahead by 20 and then get beat. So strange one from him. Simpkins, the interesting one now. So he goes over 50 in this one, and with a try assist as well. Ran the ball a bit with 60 run meters and 3 tackle breaks, 44 tackles made with 6 misses. So a good game for him in the 67 minutes that he'll get. His break even does go into the negatives, I believe, after this 50 plus, even though he had a fairly high break even, considering he'd been scoring under what he's priced at. So he won't get out to be too expensive after this. He'll only gain a little bit, I believe, and then you'll be able to pick him up. The issue with him is obviously he gets a spot next week. So if you don't have a hooker for next week, then Sim can work. Round 17 they have the bye. And then he'll likely get sort of 4 to 5 weeks, I'd say, with Appy being out. So he definitely is someone that can come in and do pretty well. We have also seen him struggle a bit, because he has those missed tackles in his game. That's 32 in that, and not all the time he's going to be able to run the footy and do really well. So I doubt he's going to hit a 50 every week, or even a 45, but he'll still be really serviceable over this time as a good backup hooker if you want him. Isaiah Papali'i, he ended up on 57, so he took away 1 of the missed tackles, and him as well there. He had a very annoying play. He had 2 turnover tackles, obviously there, which is very helpful, and one of them was the strip on Tino. So that was pretty crazy. Got the strip off him there, and then got 2 tackle breaks in that one play. So he ended up with about 9 points in the one hit. So that 57, he dropped that down to 48, and just shows why I haven't been super excited by Papali'i there. He needed that type of play to hit a 50, and he was scoring pretty well from the start because of those turnover tackles. And the run meters there, just a little tad over 100. I think he ended up about 120 or 130 there to get his extra few points. But 34 tackles, 4 misses. It's not very good, to be honest with you. He's just going to be thereabouts. He'll be thereabouts at 50, 55, and his price just under that 50 mark there. So a little bit of value. Someone like Bateman, I think, has the upside just because they're not using IPAP right. That's all it is, guys. Mo Fotuaika, he ended up a little bit low. I'm not sure actually what he ended up updating to. I'll get that up on my phone while we're talking about it. But he's someone that we definitely have been looking at across these last few weeks, and he has that. They have their last bye there in next week, which is going to be important for those that are looking at a mid. Following that he's going to be one of those guys. But I just think that this lower score from him. Let me check what he got actually. 53 went up to. I thought so. Yeah, they missed a couple of his tackle breaks at the end. So he's one of those guys that is very solid, but if you're not getting him in, obviously, for round 16 where we need a mid, everyone's then holding guys like Jack DeBell and Horsburgh, Tohu Harris and stuff like that. And I think they're all slightly better or the same as him. So it's like, unless you really need that type of mid from that week with no other buys coming up, then I just think you can avoid him. But he was one of those guys, if you didn't need a player for next week, he was a good buy this week, got the 53 and scored according to his price. Stefano, I think he had a really solid game. He had a big run there at one point. Verrills, 44, so yeah, really happy with him. I ended up at 39, actually, very frustrating. Jaden Campbell up to 63, Brimson 62, Cleese Haas up to 58. So there's some of the scores there. And Tino got the 69. Yep, cool. Just checking in on that with the updated one. So very frustrating that they just don't update these first games. I don't know what it's got to do with these first games, and then every other game's fine. First game usually the Thursday, and then even last week the first game was a Friday, and they stuffed around with that too. So annoying. Get it fixed. Come on. But yeah, Verrills, very, very important player for this side, I think. Yeah, it really directs them well. It's just a good hooker. So good dummy half and exactly what they need. Aaron Shop had a pretty good game, but not someone we want to look at. 2 turnover tackles on Tommy Talau, obviously there. Shawnee Bloor was a very surprising one to come into this side. He ended up with 43, I believe, off the... ended up in the starting side at 43 points there. Played the 73 minutes and did a pretty solid job, to be honest with you. On that side with Tommy Talau, it's a pretty disgusting left edge, to be honest with you. Unfortunately, once Brooks went down, Stafford Toa went into that position. But yeah, Blorey, for anyone who held him, there are a few that still do. Still 4.3%, not many in the top 5K, but he had a very low break even, and people have been waiting for him to play, and he finally did. But yeah, very late in the piece for Blorey, and he might keep that spot, likely, but you see someone you want to buy, considering they could just, Cheensy's just dropped him at any point possible. Junior Tupou, solid one for him, nothing special, end up with the 34, and yeah, I don't think a lot of people have him, but if you do, that's that. Stafford Toa end up with 31, so not exciting at all. Shows that these kind of outside backs can go up and down and have their little runs and then slow it down, and it kind of likened it to what Talakai did last year with a few big scores, and then coming back to earth with some lower 20s, 30s, 40s there, back to kind of normal. So he'll start to lose a little bit of cash now from here, which is annoying if you did pick him up after the big score, because he's gone 40 odd and 31 here. Brooksy's out, so it's gonna be interesting who covers that position. Wakeham becomes a little bit more important, so we haven't actually spoke about Wakeham, did we? He ended up with 33, is that right? 30? No, he ended up to 44. How bad was the scoring in this? Wow. He goes from 33 to 44. So let's check out what his stats were, just to kind of have a little comparison. 62 run meters was correct. 1 tackle break. Yep. We must have gained 2 turnover tackles. He had 24 and 1 miss. So there's 4 points there. And then he had 153 kick meters. So he gets an extra 2 points there. And they had him as 3 errors. Yep. 1 penalty. That's fine. So he really just gained points in every position there. So Statsman kind of struggled a bit last night, didn't they? They missed a lot. They added a lot of missed tackles and stuff to a lot of Tigers guys. So Bateman got 4 extra. IPAP got 1 extra. Wakeham got an extra 1. Yeah, crazy at that front there. Toa obviously got 4 extra points. So yeah, ridiculous there. But Wakeham will be that starter. And then who else are going to pick? Hey, I'm not sure. We'll find out in a sec. But yeah, they also have a backup hooker as well. So he should come in, a young fella that will come into calculations as a bench hooker as well. And Simkin may not get the 80. So something to look at there for sure. Brian Kelly, the 25 with Brooks as well. So anyone has Brooks, not good. Get him out of your side, unfortunately. Khan Pereira, low one for anyone who still owns him. Coruscant, the 12, is Gonski's. Unfortunately, need to trade him. And let's finish with Talau, because that was just disgusting. So a guy that comes in with so much hype, obviously the injuries and stuff like that comes into it. I understand why he has the hype. He's a big body. He's strong. But gosh, he just drop footy. He just drops footy like it's a bloody cake of soap. Like they pass through his chest and he just straight drops it. Pass through his chest, he just runs straight. And literally Tanner Boy's just tackling just under the ball and he just drops it every time. It's like, bro, what are you doing? Obviously have owned him all year. Everyone's laughing like, how do you still own him? Remember he at the start though, he had the injury and he was just a red dot at all times. So you could just loop him week to week. And then they had their bye early. You could loop him there easily. So that's why we held him. And then it was kind of like, well, he's too cheap to trade him to anyone. And a majority of the time it's not super ideal to trade him to another cash cow. If you trade for people that traded Talau to Burbo, it just ended up in trading, wasting a trade and going to a red dot. Or you trade him to someone who is as I said, is a marginal cash cow. You usually want to go up a little bit to a 3, 4, 500 type of guy who has the upside. So that's why I didn't trade him out. But this end up at 3. So to get 3 in 80 minutes is pretty disgusting. 6 missed tackles, 4 errors. And when he runs the footy, he runs straight at the line. He doesn't even seem to run at the gaps either. He just likes to run at blokes. He runs out of the line in defense, and Tanner Boyd exposed him there, and he'd run out of the line early, and then Tanner just goes, okay, here you go, Cleese, just go over and score. Just made mistakes, and he's obviously learning. He's still a youngster, but he's been around footy for long enough to, I think, get this right, and he hasn't yet. So very upsetting for anyone, for Tommy in general, because that's the type of game where I think you get dropped from. To be honest with you, it just wasn't good enough. And anytime they got some decent ball, they were coming out of their line, 30, 40, 50 out, just would drop the ball and not good. Does Kapoa come in and take that spot? Does Brent Naden come back? There's a lot of things they can do. I don't even think he's there for round 16, but I'll be trading him anyway. I don't want to play him. Potentially get a 10 or 15, which is likely what it's going to be, or get a 3. So that's that, guys. That's the first game. I wish you all the best of luck heading into the Friday games, and see you later.